MCDC is an incredibly deep thinking man. I think it's obvious whenever you listen to him. Super meathead, but very deep thinker, and obviously a stud. But McDaniel and MCDC together would be must watch.
Just the sight of them
yeah.
two on the sideline would be the best.
Like McDaniel jumping on his back after a big touchdown and MCDC like going crazy. That would be. Oh, you could probably
Fireman's carry him. Fireman's carry him.
If you see my backpack, man, the guy used to be a head coach. This guy used to be a head coach.
That'd be incredible.
Dude, so he's in Detroit right now.
All right. Let's have some fun tonight. You heard the Pat McAfee segment. Now, we got a jam-packed show tonight, as you can see on the screen. We're going to cover the comments made by McAfee on the Lions OC job, pros and cons of Mike McDaniel's taking the job, Aiden Hutchinson's recent injury comments in an ESPN interview, and the NFL coaching carousel. Because there's a lot going on in the NFL right now and a lot going on in Detroit as they try to fill their holes. But getting into it, when Pat McAfee says something would be must-see TV, as he did earlier today, you can't just scroll past it. You got to stop. You got to rewind it. And you got to ask yourself one simple question. Would this actually work? Pat McAfee floated the idea that Mike McDaniel teaming up with Dan Campbell as the Lions offensive coordinator would be chaos in the best absolute way. And he might be onto something. And we got to talk about it, because if you're talking about personality, football IQ, culture, and just entertainment value, Dan Campbell and Mike McDaniel on the same sideline would break the internet. I mean, it probably would be must-see TV. And so we're going to start with the obvious. Campbell is the emotional engine of this franchise. Kneecaps, grit, accountability. This is a guy who leads with his chest and his heart. McDaniel, on the other hand, is a mad scientist. Okay? Motion, timing, misdirection. I mean, he very well might be Ben Johnson 2.0. I mean, he's a guy who sees the game of football like a chessboard, and he talks about it like a stand-up comic. And I've talked about in some of my other videos about the way his demeanor is. I mean, there's nobody that pays attention to NFL football and doesn't know who Mike McDaniels is. There's no way. I mean, he's had a number of quirky, weird takes. I mean, some of the films of him being just in this, some of the way that he's dressed. And I'm not talking about the sunglasses. I mean, the capri pants. I mean, he's just a quirky dude. And that's fine. I'm not, it's cool. But when you think about those two together, I mean, they're totally polar opposites. I mean, Campbell is nothing like McDaniels. Nothing. I mean, they couldn't be more different. But in reality and in football terms, they might be perfect complements. Because what does Dan Campbell do better than almost anybody else in the league? He sets the tone. He builds trust. Players already believe in him. He's created an environment where people feel empowered to be themselves and to buy into Detroit football. Now, this season was disappointing. I get it. But I can assure you that locker room, Dan Campbell has not lost any faith in that locker room. Not at all. And so Mike McDaniel, he thrives in environments where creativity isn't allowed, it's encouraged. And that's why I think McAfee is taking this so hard. because it isn't just about play calling. It's about chemistry. He sees it. I mean, imagine the press conferences alone with those two. I mean, could you imagine? Campbell, a fiery, emotional locker room style message, and then McDaniel steps up to the podium with a deadpan breakdown that somehow makes you laugh and learn some new football stuff at the same time. I mean, that's not just football coverage. It's literally content gold. WWE type of stuff. But let's get past the entertainment part, because there's a football side that matters here. Obviously, you know, we all want to see Detroit win a championship, and that matters more than us getting a couple jokes or laughs on Sundays, whether they win or lose games. If Mike McDaniel were to ever land in Detroit as an offensive coordinator, it would signal something huge. And it would be that the Lions aren't afraid to evolve while staying true to who they are. Because this would be different for them. This would be a different pace. McDaniel's offenses are built on speed, putting defenders in impossible positions. He's known to maximize talent. He's good at manufacturing mismatches. He doesn't ask players to be people that they aren't. He builds the scheme around what they are, who they are. And think about Detroit's personnel. They have a physical offensive line that does need to be improved upon, but they have a physical offensive line nonetheless. They have versatile skill players. They've got a quarterback who thrives when he can play on rhythm and timing. Goff. I mean, you don't have to stretch very far to see that it could work. And here's the key part that people miss. Campbell doesn't need to control the offense. He needs to empower the right mind to run it. That's it. I mean, this is not a guy that's about ego. He's about results. If something helps this team win, then he's all in, even if it doesn't look traditional. I have no doubt in my mind that if they think that Mike McDaniel is the best guy for the job, then they're going to hire him. And I think that's why McAfee's comments resonate. This isn't Madden fantasy booking. This is a culture fit conversation. Play calling fit conversation. Mike McDaniel doesn't have to be the guy in Detroit. He can be the architect, and that's fine with everybody. Campbell would still be the leader, the voice, the closer, and McDaniel would be the chess player. That's dangerous. This could be dangerous. I mean, because from a league-wide perspective, other teams would hate this. I mean, you'd have one of the most emotionally unified locker rooms in football paired with one of the most creative offensive minds in the game. It's substance with style. Now, we got to step back because we got to address the realism. Is this likely to happen? Maybe not immediately. But is it possible? Yes. This is absolutely possible. Coaching carousels are weird. And we're going to be getting into that in the later segment of the show, but careers pivot fast. I mean, I think Andy Reid now is the longest tenured coach in the NFL. He's got like 7 or 8 seasons under his belt. I mean, that's insane. In college football, I feel like the window is even less for that. If you're not in a national championship the next year, they're talking about firing you, getting rid of you, which is so strange because the next guy they bring in, they're like, yeah, $10 million, 7 years. Guys haven't even proven themselves, and then they'll fire. Then they'll be talking about how are we going to get $40 million to get rid of him in 2 years when he doesn't do. I mean, it's just we're living in different times, people. McDaniel is the type of coach who could benefit from a situation where he doesn't have to be the CEO. And maybe that's why things went wrong in Miami. Maybe he's just better as the innovator. I mean, we saw that with Matt Patricia. Matt Patricia was a terrible head coach. He had no business being in that role. It went terrible in Detroit. He's thriving again as Ohio State's defensive coordinator. He's a great coordinator. He's been running defenses and schemes as a coordinator very well. But as a head coach, The guy sucks. At this point in time, though, Detroit isn't desperate. They're not. They can be selective. Now, I think that they should do something quickly, but they're not desperate. It's a very sought-after job. And that matters. This wouldn't be a panic move. This would be a statement if this is what they do. And it's a statement that says, we're not just building culture, we're chasing championships. We're not just tough, we're smart. And let's be honest, the NFL is a lot better when Detroit's interesting. It's better when historically bad teams, let's be honest, are good again. Jacksonville Jaguars, Carolina Panthers. I mean, it's a benefit to everybody when you start seeing other teams that haven't won perennially get a spotlight. People want to see Detroit win. They want to see the Lions win a championship just as much as the homegrown fans do. And I think it's like McAfee said. I do think it would be must-watch football. And if Pat McAfee's imagination is even half right, then Detroit wouldn't be just winning games. They'd be stealing the spotlight while doing it too.